insights. First, we're going to start with Tony Walker. And Tony is the Chief Executive Officer of Ambulance Victoria. He's also an associate professor, and he's got those initials after his name, if you looked on the website, ASM, because he's received a distinguished medal for all the incredible work that he's been doing over the course of his career. So Tony, it's an absolute honor to have you here as part of this panel. I was hoping that maybe you can just share some of your thoughts on what you've heard today and maybe send a question to one of the gentlemen. Is that all right?
Absolutely, and a pleasure to be here. Good evening from Australia. Look, David, particularly some really interesting things that came out from my perspective. I mean, as someone who's experienced awe, but never realised it was actually a science to it, that there was actually and that it can be measured. I found that quite interesting and quite amazing, and in fact, it's associated with overall well-being and happiness, and that I was really surprised by the variation in the sources. I think, like many people, I think I probably thought of the first picture you put up as awe-inspiring and the things that would do it. The fact that it's not necessarily rare I found quite interesting, and importantly, as you said, it can refill the well, and I think that's something all of us need to have something to be able to do. There were a couple of surprises that came out for me, David, in yours. I think one was around particularly you talked about your father, the fact that threats can actually be awe-inspiring. I've never thought of it that way before, and I think that was certainly interesting. And your opportunity you gave us to draw from our own experiences at work. I would never have thought that something I did as part of my work actually would be awe-inspiring, and the little mindfulness piece you did with us actually drew that out for me, and I found that really quite interesting. Certainly some opportunities to apply it to our profession, and I think the opportunity to educate people about it and to help them understand how they can do it. But I have a particular question for you, and I'm interested how you recommend that we put this into our daily life. A lot of us are practicing mindfulness and things like that, but what sort of tools or tricks could apply it into our normal life so that we normalize doing this every day?
Yeah, well, thanks for those reflections. In terms of how to apply this, I think one is vacations are important, and taking a break, and getting away into nature. I thought Craig's talk about emphasizing nature was really important. I think the quickest and easiest way to get a dose of awe is to just take a walk in nature, and I try to remind myself to do that. And I think we could all probably do a bit more of that. The second thing has to do with all of the opportunities that are available around us. Again, something I need to remind myself to to take advantage of more. We all have world-class museums within easy reach if we live in a city, and if not, there's generally museums or art shows or science talks available, if not in our towns, certainly on the internet. So just learning, I think is something that brings out a sense of awe in me, certainly. And then lastly, I think just noticing a bit more. And this could be natural features, on my way to work when I'm going over the bridge. It's actually a beautiful scene of the sun rising, and usually I'm stressed from commuting, but if I actually take a moment, take a breath and look, I think, wow, that's really something. And then lastly, I'll just say noticing what our colleagues do and our loved ones do around us, the kind of selfless service that our colleagues and loved ones do and that we can witness. And that is a kind of awe, I think. And it's one that maybe we just let pass by, whereas letting ourselves feel it and notice it, maybe communicate our appreciation, I think is one that sort of neglected source of awe in everyday life.
Wonderful, thank you. It was again just amazing. As I said, something that I'd never never thought that there would be an evidence base behind, and I think that will get a lot of particularly practitioners in health fields and others thinking about the fact that actually this is something that nature's not just good for you, as we heard Craig talk about, but it's it actually you can there's an evidence base of why it's good for you.